Does a blowout win over the Lions prove that the Green Bay Packers are back? No. I am shaking my head no. Angrily shaking my head no. I've got Barcelona, Gremlin, and Sinatra. And I'll make my elevator pitch, and we will see eye to eye by the time I'm done with this Maller monologue. Now, let's start by pumping the brakes on Green Bay's return to dominance because of Monday night. I was not impressed. The Packers struggled for roughly 75% of the game. They needed help to get separation. They trailed the lowly Lions. The Lions were leading the game at halftime. From a talent standpoint, this was a tremendous mismatch. Anybody that knows football will tell you that. Why Green Bay was crutching ois, as my Yiddish grandfather would say back in the day. Why Green Bay was, they were just clumming around there. They're terrible. 2-touchdown favorite. And here are the Lions scratching and clawing at the start of the game, punching above their weight. And so the way I look at this, even in victory, the Packers have some serious underlying issues. They were torn up by the New Orleans Saints for the entire game, and Jameis Winston, while his passing yardage wasn't great, 5 touchdowns, and Jared Goff for a half was amazing against that Packer defense. So forget Lambeau Field. The defenders in Green Bay, they are ready for the monumental bull ring of Barcelona. That was full matador defense. Ole, 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 ole. They were playing like matadors. And the game did expose more of those weaknesses. So it would be disingenuous to say, well, Green Bay's back. Detroit has a roster full of sharecroppers. If Hillary Clinton was commenting on the roster of defensive players for the Packers, she'd call them deplorables, and she wouldn't be wrong. And the skill players for the Lions, the great unwashed, and they were making some plays against the Cheeseheads. Players that you don't know. They're incognito. Khalif Raymond, Tyrell Williams, Quintez Cephas. I believe that's how you say his name. I don't even know how to say the guy's name. Tom Kennedy. The running backs, nondescript. Now, the one player they have on that Lions offense who's good is T.J. Hawkinson. That guy's a ball player. The rest of those guys, they're just Jags. Just a guy. Just a guy. Just a guy. Just a guy. That's about it. Now, part B of this, I'm going to change gears here. So Aaron Rodgers, what he needs to do here is send a bouquet and a box of chocolates over to Jared Goff. All right, so I got a bunch of people who were trying to bust my balls and say, well, you can't rip Jared Goff. Did you see how Jared Goff played? And I just sat there and I said, what kind of bizarro world am I in here? Am I in a different dimension? Right, that game right there, Monday Night Football. I'm talking only to our listeners in Detroit and actually all over the state of Michigan. If you have an ounce of lion passion left in you, that game is a microcosm of the full Jared Goff experience. And somewhere at a mansion in La La Land, Sean McVay was watching that game and he had an evil laugh and a Cheshire cat smile from ear to ear, right? For 30 minutes, Jared Goff was matching Aaron Rodgers blow for blow. In fact, he was better than Aaron Rodgers in the first half of that game. That's a fact. He was electric in the first half. Jared Goff only had 3 incompletions, was averaging 8.5 yards per pass, had a passer rating of 141.9. It was a virtuoso performance. He played like a number 1 overall pick is supposed to perform. It was a masterclass on how to play quarterback. And then they went in and they watched cartoons at halftime, and they came out in the second half, and it was the same Jared Goff wearing the same Lions uniform, and all of a sudden, abracadabra, the Rocky Horror Picture Show starring Jared Goff. And all it took was a little rain, and he turned into a gremlin. Live by the Goff, die by the Goff. He almost single-handedly pushed the Packers back into the lead. Jared Goff made a absolutely ghastly pass on a 4th down and 1 play inside Green Bay territory, turning the ball over on downs. The Lions were down by 4 at that point. Field goal makes it a 1-point game. They went for it, which would have been fine because there were receivers open. Jared Goff just didn't see them. And the Packers, because of Jared Goff's ill-advised pass, took that ball, turnover on downs, went back, got a touchdown. Very next possession, wet ball. Always a problem, at least in football, when you've got wet balls.
My love of balls.
Jared Goff, the first snap, nobody touched him. It's not a great play by the Green Bay Packers defense. He fumbled the snap. Fumble! Bug on the rug. And then the Packers took that, went 5 plays, 19 yards. It was deep in Detroit territory. The Packers went down 19 yards, touchdown. So that's 14 points handed to Green Bay on a silver platter. And so that, again, is Jared Goff, the full Jared Goff experience. He'll tease you and rip your heart out. That's the microcosm of Jared Goff. And again, Aaron Rodgers and all the Green Bay Packer players should send a bouquet and a box of chocolates. After halftime, Jared Goff had a passer rating of 58.1. 58.1. He averaged less than 5.5 yards per attempt. He lost an interception and a fumble. Jared Goff. Enjoy him, Detroit. Thank you for Matthew Stafford. We appreciate that. The Rams appreciate Matthew Stafford. Very generous of you to give up a decent quarterback who could be great with the Rams for a stiff. All right, last word here. So let's go back to Aaron Rodgers again. Nice of Aaron Rodgers to show up. The season actually started in week 1. He took off week 1. And I understand Rodgers was complaining after the game about all the overreactions that happen on a week-to-week basis in the NFL. So let me play the world's smallest violin for Aaron Rodgers. Boo-hoo-hoo, right? And he's getting all worked up here. Listen, you lost a game by a gazillion points. You didn't even show up to Jacksonville to play the Saints. You were carved up like a jack-o'-lantern. You look like a pumpkin. Is what you look like with all the holes in you. And yeah, the trolls react. You went AWOL. You had a dereliction of duty. Not just Aaron Rodgers. The entire Green Bay Packer team against New Orleans. And what did you expect? Everyone to bite their tongue and say, well, no, I'm not going to talk about anything here. No. Let's wait till the end of the year before we make any judgments. Cry me a river, Mr. Rodgers, right? The overreaction machine. Let me be very, very clear here. I've been doing this a long time. The overreaction machine is the very essence of why dopes like you get paid a gazillion dollars to play a child's game of football, right? You're a grown-ass man and you're playing football for a living and making millions of dollars. The reason you're doing that, Aaron Rodgers, just in case you forgot, is because we human beings are emotionally invested in the outcome of your little dopey game. And you mix in a big tub of kerosene from fantasy football and gambling, and you have a highly combustible situation. It's one extreme or another. And it's like the lyrics from the old Frank Sinatra song. You're riding high in April, and you're shot down in May. That's life. But in the NFL, you're riding high in week 1 and shot down in week 2. That's life. If you can't handle that, go out and get a real job. But that's the way it is. And you should be happy about that because the money is redonkulous. The money is amazing. Absolutely amazing. Anyway, all right, let's go into the losing locker room, the better story in the losing locker room. Dan Campbell, the man that will eat your kneecaps. He drinks a lot of coffee, Dan Campbell, and he points out here that he is not a bad person. Well, let's just let Dan Campbell explain. He's not a negative Nelly and all. I don't know. We'll let him talk here. Here's Dan Campbell explaining what happened there for the Lions.
I just told them I don't want to see that. So they come in. I'm not that type of person. I'm not a negative person. I'm all about going to work. I want guys that are resilient, that are willing to go back to work. They love ball. They're going to clean up their mistakes. And those are the guys I'm looking for, man.
Yeah. Well, they love ball.
I love our balls.
For about 30 minutes. If the Lions could play a 30-minute game, the 49ers, they dominated the second half, and then this game they played very well in the first half. It's the full game, which is the problem for the Lions. All right, wait, there's more. Dan Campbell is going to be fix it Felix all of a sudden. He's got a plan.
We're going to fix our mess because we put ourselves in this mess. So that's what I'm looking for. So I think we're going to be just fine. We'll be upbeat. And you know what? It should sting. I hope it does sting. It stings me. And that's okay. But that doesn't mean that you got to be negative or kick the dirt and everything else. And I don't want those guys around here.
Yes, be very positive as you're getting the snot punched out of your nostrils. All right. I like Campbell. He's not going to be around long, likely, but he's a good soundbite, and that's all I care about. Here's more. Jared Goff, the man of the hour. Remember, live by the Goff, die by the Goff. Here's Jared Goff. I've heard this soundbite before when he was with the Rams, something very similar to it, as he tries to focus on the positivity.
We've shown flashes of it. It just needs to happen more often. That's with everybody, myself included. We're there. We have the players. We have the plays. We just need to be on the same page a little bit more and just continue to get better and continue to stay consistent.
Yes, just keep getting better week after week, yes. Well, at least he didn't come out and say, we learned a lot from a loss. Remember the Green Bay Packers, that was the company line, that we learned a lot from a loss, which is total bullcrap. Because if the Green Bay Packers played a halfway decent team, they would have lost Monday night. Does anyone disagree with that? The Lions blow, and the Packers played like crap for into the second half. They started to pick it up a little bit in the third quarter, late in the third quarter, thanks to Jared Goff's generosity. But if they played a halfway decent team, they would have lost. And to imagine down the line, they play legitimate quarterbacks, and they've had problems with two illegitimate quarterbacks. That is not a good harbinger of things to come for the Matador defense of the Green Bay Packers.